Okay. Alright. I am writing a paper on minimum wage increase. I did. For a class in Comp 1102. Alright, let's do this. Okay, guys, so we gotta open this Internet Explorer. Always helps when you have internet. Loading, loading. Alright. Usually you go to Galileo through your My Georgia Southern, but it looks like there's a little tab up here that you can go to, so let's use that. So you type in minimum wage. See what pops up. Oh, no results were found. Looks like we're gonna have to narrow the search down a little bit. Or maybe eventually just not use Galileo. Oh, look at that. Minimum wage increase. Oh yeah, there it goes. Alright, so there are 552 results. Won't need all those, but we can try to find the best one. Looks like this one is a periodical. It's always good. Not exactly sure what that is, but that's okay. Yeah, then you just read over the main stories, see what it's about, see if it can help you any in your papers, save the sources. It's always good to save your sources, because then you know where to go back if you need some more information. Alright, so that's the first place I look is Galileo, because it's close by. They usually have some nice books on campus. See if there's anything else on Galileo. Some pros and cons. Then you just, once you find another article, you just click on it. Just keep going. Read. If it has anything to do with what you're researching, just save that source, cite it, cite it correctly. And after I get those, I usually go to Owl Purdue, or Purdue Owl, whatever it is called. And I always forget how to cite things, so I always have to make sure I'm doing it right. Oh, there's a little button that says cite over here. Never saw that before. Maybe that'll help cite it. I don't know. But anyway, usually I find few sources on Galileo. Let's just try the web now, not Galileo. These are probably going to be a little bit more not unofficial. Depends on what type of website you go to. I just type in minimum wage increase in the URL spot. Search. Let's see. There's a bunch of .coms. This one has a .org after the end of it, so that's usually a pretty sound website. Not many hackers can get into it, from what I've been told. Let's see, just do a bunch of reading again. Ain't got time for reading though. Usually it's just a skim. Hopefully all the ones that you're searching for will work out. Because there's nothing worse than looking for a thing, reading the entire thing, and then you're, this has nothing to do with my paper. Then you have to start over. But it's not a big deal. Doo-doo-doo. There's a lot of .gov sources in here, mainly because it has to do with the federal income minimum wage and being raised. Let's go to the Huffington Post. That's pretty popular. Front page. You really just keep going until you find something that you want to use to support yourself if you're trying to debate or not. You need some things to support yourself and then things that are kind of contradicting so you have a little bit more to write on. Shows that you see the good and bad of both situations. Alright, so we found a couple of things just on the internet. Let's try to go back to Galileo, see if we can find a couple more things that are different than just minimum wage increasing. See if someone benefits. Here's a couple on benefits. Usually if I go into Galileo, it always just gives me these little abstracts and summaries of the text when I want the full text. So, if you want full text, you can go over here to the left side of the screen on Galileo. Usually they give you options so that you can go over here and click full text. Boom. That'll narrow down all your things. So now the things that you read are going to be a full report. Hopefully. Yeah, so you got the abstract, and over here on the left side there's a full text. So you can click that. And here you go. You got all you need. And you can save that. You save that source, because you gotta, if you use it in your papers or whatever, you have to show them where you got it from. Can't just be writing stuff down. People are like, where'd this come from? You're like, yeah, that's plagiarism. Can't be doing that. Gotta give people credit where it's due. And that's really about all I do if I'm trying to do some research.
I am writing a paper on abortion for my English 1102 class. First, I am going to open up Google Chrome. I always use Google Chrome because I feel like it works the best. It's the fastest, and yeah, I always use that one. I always start off with Google. I feel like Google normally has the best results for the research that I try to conduct. So yeah, I am going to look up the abortion pros and cons. Start with the pros. And normally, whenever I am doing my research, I stay away from Wikipedia. I know they tend to have information that's not entirely true, and everyone really recommends to stay away from it, so I do. So yeah, this website seems like they could have some pretty decent information on it. Let's see. Here we go. Some pros and cons. Yeah, so normally whenever I'm doing my research and I find a website that I'm interested in, I will open a Word document and copy and paste the link, just so I remember what link I used and can later make a citation if I choose to use this document. Okay, so especially like if I'm in kind of a rush or I'm like just starting out on my project, I like to see what information is out there before I really start to do different things. So let's see what else is on pros. Let's see. Okay, so that one's not really working, but I'll go find another. So this website also seems to be good. It has the author of who's writing this little article. Seems like it has really good information, and I normally like to use the .orgs and things like that. I use .coms as well, but like the .orgs just seem better to me. And yeah, this website also seems really good and reliable, so I will copy and paste this one as well. Cool. Oops. And I'll find one more on these. Oh my. This website seems really good. And it is a .com. So I will copy and paste this one as well. Okay. And now I'll type in the cons. lot of these are the same websites that I just had. This website seems pretty reliable. Just not a lot of information on it, but the information that is on it seems like it could be beneficial to my paper. So I will copy and paste that one as well. Here's another .org. There seems to be a lot of information on this. Yeah, and this website is also good because it has these related links down at the bottom, so if I was having issues finding other websites or something, I could look at those, and I'll copy and paste this one and check out what some of those things may say. Okay. Pro-life. Okay, and it seems like this has some real life stories of people who had abortions and how it affected them in their lives, which would be really good for a paper to add, and some experiences of people to back up the information. Let's see what another one is. Abortionfacts.com. Yeah, and there seem to be lots of good facts on this website. Yep. So I will copy and paste this one. It's good to have a variety. There's so many websites. Okay. This one doesn't really seem related to my topic, or if it does, it's just a lot of videos. So I'll go back. This website kind of tells you, I guess, exactly what abortion is and what women should experience before abortion and after. So that may be good thing for one of the pros and cons. So normally at this point, whenever I get a lot of sources, and it's kind of like wrapping up, um, I will open my email and email these things to me and make sure that I'll have them and can do more research on them and go further with that and make citations. So yeah.
Um, I am writing a paper on the 2012 Bounty Gate scandal for the New Orleans Saints for my kinesiology class. First place I normally would go to is Google and just simply put in what am I looking for. In this case would be Bounty Gate. I my begin the research process normally by going to Wikipedia. Um, and there I'll probably get like a general overview of what I don't know or what I need to know, and then from there I will use that as probably as my basis for my whole paper, and then just go to other websites to get little trinkets to add in, basically for like filler and stuff like that. If I can't, depending on how many words or pages the paper has to be. For the search terms, I normally just put in key terms, and in this case, it would be Bounty Gate. Um, like I said, I use Wikipedia. I normally use Wikipedia. Um, for the most part, of course, you have to be mindful for people that do editing and try to like, put crazy stuff up there that is not true and stuff like that. But for the the most part, it'll be pretty reliable information as long as you're smart about it and not just believe anything that you see. If it's like common knowledge or stuff that was already reported out in the media and has been like proven and stuff, then you can do that. Next source, depending on your project. For this paper, I will probably go to a Sports Illustrated article, a CBS Sports article, a CBS Sports article. And I chose this one because CBS Sports is a pretty reliable source, even though some of their stuff be like written from like editors and stuff like that, and people with um, different views and point of views. But for the most part, they report before people put their opinions. I try to keep up with the websites that I use. Normally, I'll just like either have all the different sites open up in separate tabs. So if I have to have a bibliography, I could just copy and paste the link. It depends on the teacher wants like citations. A lot of teachers don't. Well, not a lot of teachers, but some teachers don't really ask for the annotated bibliography and stuff like that. They just really want the link. Um, like I said, I keep all the information that I find by just keeping things in an open tab or copy and pasting it and putting it into like a little notepad and stuff, so I can just copy and paste it and put it into the Microsoft Word at the end of my paper. Um, um, try to go through at least a couple of pages so I don't have just like very one-sided take on my papers. I want to be able to give takes from all different types of perspectives and put them all in my paper so the paper won't seem like a very one-sided and biased. I guess you could say biased type of opinion or biased type of paper. I want to give a paper that's reporting stuff and talking about all the different elements that go on the paper. Try to go through at least the first 5 pages, search pages, so you can get a pretty good overview of what I can write or what I need to write. Um, After I get information off of Google, depending on whether or not I find a sufficient amount of evidence, well not evidence, but research, I'll probably go to Yahoo and type in the same thing. We'll type in what I'm searching for. In this case, it will be Bounty Gate, and then see if there's anything new that Yahoo, anything different that Yahoo may pull up. And most of the time, it's not, but just in different orders, it may pull up stuff that's in probably one of the later pages, like later search things, like 12, 13, 14 pages down. It might be a little higher up, so I don't have to do all the searching and going down. Um, Also, depending on the teacher, you may want to keep the writer's name of the article, so you can include that in your information. Um, Try to make sure I get as many key elements out of my articles as much as possible. And of course, the people that was in it, um, what happened, what went wrong, and things of that nature. Um, um, Normally, um, well, and make sure I get all the information from the sources. And normally, what I'll do, I'll probably when I write my paper, I'll probably make like a half a screen, one screen with the Microsoft Word, and then another half with my article up, and so I have to keep going back and forth and putting one window down, pulling up another one, just having both on that screen right there, so I could just type out what I want to see. Normally, sometimes I'll reword stuff that I see, so it won't be plagiarism. You know, it's illegal. Get in trouble for that. And yeah. Does this have to be 15 minutes? Because I don't think I can go no more. This is pretty much it.
I'm writing a paper on FL Studio for a class I'm in, music. The first place I look for information is the website because I need more information to to talk about the topic on FL Studio. I began my research process by going to flstudio.com because that's the main source of information where I can get PDF files and tutorials. I use the search terms FL Studio because that's the topic I am discussing. I choose this link because they are the creators of FL Studio. I will save this source because it can come in handy when I have to cite my information at the end of my presentation. I keep up with the information I located by saving the links and, printing the information. I keep up with my sources. I change in my search terms to I changed my search terms to how to operate FL Studio because it might show me more details about the program. The next place I look for information is YouTube just to get a more visual concept. I think that's it. Um, the way I evaluate my sources to see the date of see how relevant it is and see um, the I can't think of the word. See how great of a source it is, like reliable, how reliable it is to others. Um, okay, okay. I guess that was in 15 minutes.
Okay, so my topic is drug testing athletes, dealing with probably every sport. For my English class, first I'm gonna go to Google Chrome because that's a good internet browser to go to because Internet Explorer isn't that great and it might shut down on me. And I'm gonna go to Google first. So I'm gonna type in google.com, type in drug testing athletes. It gives me suggestions like in high school, essay, articles. I'm gonna go to articles and let's just see what more information they can give me on it. And the first one I see is scholarly articles for drug testing athletes. Articles. Let's click on that. And I see NCAA study of substance use and abuse habits of college student athletes. Also, I'm going to open up a Word document so I can put all my information on there. I don't usually cite my sources until like the end, but I definitely document them so that when it comes to citing them, I will definitely do that. I have an old paper from one of my English classes that I use for citing, and also I have like a book at home what I use to actually cite it. So I actually read it and then interpret the way I cite it. So um it says it's just an article by Green Gary and some other people. um so journals.lww.com, and it shows me the objective of that article. Determine substance use of amphetamines, anabolic steroids, cocaine, marijuana, hallucinogens, and tobacco. Wow, I didn't know that that tests for tobacco too. But it is a drug, so um, hmm, overall rate for. I guess I could use from the results part since the overall response rate was. Well, no, I can't use that. Oh, I can start my paper off with the study demonstrates a wide variation of athletes, but I'm gonna copy and paste it so I can kind of reword it because I don't want to plagiarize or anything like that. So let's go ahead and open this up, pull it to the side. Study demonstrates wide variation of use across according to the survey, substance use highest among Division 3 athletes. It says among Caucasians by examining reasons for use. The study will assist professionals. I guess I'll take that paragraph and I'll paraphrase it later. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to go all the way back so I won't have to look at the articles. But that's just one website I can use for getting articles off of there. Well, no, let me click on there again and then actually copy and paste the actual site that comes up for all of my results. So let me go all the way back. How do we drug test athletes for recreational drugs? That looks interesting. So let me go to that one. And I see a golf player. And this is foxsports.com. So I'm just gonna copy and paste this website on Google. On my on my Microsoft Word. Okay. Why do we drug test athletes for recreational drugs? Every athlete. Also, every week an athlete is suspended for using recreational drugs. So I can actually use that just about every week. Tweeted, email about. I can use that sentence from there. Every week. Wait, just about every week. I forgot what I was about to write. That happens a lot. Just about every week an athlete is suspended for using recreational drugs. I don't think that's how you spell recreational. Recreational. Okay. Guess I'll use that sentence. I'm gonna go back to my search engine, back to Google, and I'm gonna search something else. Why do we test athletes? Why do we drug test athletes? Oh, it has pros and cons list. I'm gonna go with that one. Sports and drugs, pros and cons. Health risk. That's for good causes. Hmm. I don't think that website is useful, so I'm gonna go back. Um, why drug testing for athletes is essential. I'm gonna go to that one because that looks interesting, I guess. Okay, no, I don't want to look at this one. I guess that website wasn't as appealing as the other ones, so I clicked off of it. Maybe it was useful, but I didn't really read it, so I'm gonna keep searching for more stuff. Student athlete drug testing, sports journal. It looks like a article or journal or something. Okay, the words are too small, so I'm gonna go back. And this is what I do when I research. If something's wrong with that website, I'm gonna keep it moving because there are plenty other things on here that could give me more information. Should athletes be drug tested? Debate.org. So I'm gonna go to that website. And I could use the Georgia Southern website about drug testing athletes, but I know how to navigate it, but the thing is Google is more easier for me. But then again, it's kind of easy to get off topic with Google. Oh, this one is loading up too slow, so I'm gonna go back. I'm just gonna go back in the search box and I'm gonna delete the why do we, and it leaves me with drug test athletes. Or I guess I can go to how do they drug test athletes? Because that could be helpful too. And it's also good to write down. I usually just write down um, topics I want all my paragraphs to be about. Like the first paragraph would be like what exactly like we're talking about, like the drug testing sports athletes and stuff. That whole paragraph will be about that. And the second paragraph will be about how do they drug test athletes and so on and so on. But right now I'm just browsing around, getting information from different websites. But this one is how do they? Oh, so they do urine or blood samples through results management processes. So I guess urine and blood sample. So I'm gonna go back to my Word document and write how, and I'm just gonna put how they do it. So urine or blood sample. Oh, and I forgot to write down the website. So also, if I didn't write down the websites, I can go back into my Google, um, go back into the browser and click Control H, and I can find out all my websites I went to. So I'll go ahead and copy and paste that website in front of it so I can know that that's for that one. And I'm gonna go back to my Google. So I'm gonna go back and oh, it says what happens at a drug test, but that's in the UK. We're gonna keep scrolling. Also, like a drug test could be given at any time. This is drug testing in sports. Drug testing can become an increasingly large part of both professional and amateur sports. An athlete can be called for drug testing at any time and not in or out of competition. Well, actually, they carry out drug tests on the winning team or top three competitors. Oh, competitors. I'm sorry. Others will test by random sample from all competitors. That could be kind of like controversial, I guess, because I mean, why the winning teams are the top three competitors? But I mean, I don't know. That could be very controversial. I'm gonna copy and paste that part. Well, no, never mind. I'll go back. Hmm. Yeah, like articles and stuff, I can go on Google to get instead of going to the actual my Georgia Southern website. Testing athletes for drug use is the website I'm going to now. Testing samples of urine. It has like a bicycle on it or something. Some athletes find the temptation of performance drugs too hard to resist. Why?
I'm writing a paper on Family Guy, a television show for English 1102. And I'll be using Google as my search engine. I prefer Google because I just find it reliable and it gives me all the sources I need most of the time. So how I start my research is I just type in the topic. So I'll be typing in Family Guy because that's what I'll be writing about. So I'm clicking on imdb.com. It's a website used to basically giving the whole description of the show, when it was made, the first premiere, information that I'll need. So what I look about on the website is the subtitle of the episode I'm looking for, the description of the show, and the main characters. also the producers and the executives, so I can talk about what like how this started and how this came into part. So I'll save this source by copying the website into my Word document so I can later use a citation generator. So after copy and pasting a lot of this information, I usually just paraphrase what I see or summarize to avoid plagiarism. Next thing I'll go to is probably Wikipedia. It's known to be like a not really a reliable source, but some of this I only really depend on information I already know, which will expand to my prior knowledge. If I don't really understand anything from Wikipedia, then I won't put it on my paper. Sometimes I will see the information on Wikipedia and then try to put in my own words to avoid plagiarism. After Wikipedia, for this topic, I will go to YouTube to look at some videos, um, to see how the show is, how it's set up, the runtime, and if there is a certain pattern in every single episode, so I can further analyze how the show is conducted. So that's for the show itself. After that, I'll probably find another article talking about, since the show is about comedy, I'll probably find an article on comedy from like a reliable source such as New York Times or another reliable source. I do this because the more reliable source, the more like credible the paper is. Because if you have a source that isn't really credible, then it weakens your paper. So after using that source, I usually find um, like another source that can disagree with my claim. I do this because we were told about this in English 1101, that doing this can also strengthen your paper, finding arguments that oppose what you're saying. So after conducting all this research for my citations, what I'll do is I'll plug in all of the sources into a citation generator, and then copy and paste it into my Word document. Only thing I would need to fix is the indenting, because usually it doesn't paste as well, just copying and pasting to a Word document. So I just keep. I also would look for sources, like use sources that would be recommended by my professor on a rubric. If I can't find information I need from these sources, then I just go to other reliable sources. I think I recall that we were told that if it says .org, it's more reliable. And to always look for biased information if it's trying to sell a product or persuade the audience in a certain way. Since the purpose of this essay is to inform, then I would have to use a source that isn't really siding one side more than the other. Another topic of my paper is to how does it relate to our generation. So in order to do that, I would have to find information on our current generation, which is the millennials. So what I'll type in is millennial generation characteristics on Google. And I'll be clicking 8 millennials traits you should know about. I just prefer this because it has a list, so it's more easier to break down rather than just like a block of paragraphs and trying to extract information from that. So what I see here are like bullet points, characteristics of the generation, and from this I try to connect it to the television show, and I find similarities with them. And I do this so it can further strengthen my argument that the show relates to our generation. So I usually jot down this information, write it, and then write in my own words so I can type into the Word document. So then I don't risk plagiarism. for example, a word multitaskers, I'd probably use like the ability to do multiple things at one time instead of using the exact wording. And this isn't really my go-to, but I was told in my 1102 class to use Google Scholar. Haven't tried it. Um, I don't think it'll work for this topic though because it's a television show and I feel like Google Scholar will be too much of an intellectual source. So I would switch back to regular Google. Another reason why I use Google is because I feel like it does a good job of showing the websites that are visited most frequently, and I feel like that's the most reliable source, like how other people are using it, a ton of other people. I feel that Wikipedia might not be reliable at all times because anyone can post new information, but um, that inaccurate information can't stay there for a long time, and that's what I understand from it. So another thing I would usually do is sort of a bad habit, but I would type in um, I'll like type in Family Guy, the show that I'm using, and then I'll go into a source and use some information from that into my paper without citing it. Just in case it is inaccurate, I don't know what I do. It's a bad habit.